This is the Bears Barroom Radio Network. Parental discretion is advised.
There are so many streaming TV series.
So many channels.
I have a stream.
I just don't know which one to watch.
Is this show worth our time?
I have a stream.
I'm 3 seasons behind already. Is it even worth catching up?
I have a stream.
What's the series about? Well, my wife liked it too.
I have a stream.
What channel is it on? And who's in it?
I have a stream.
I want to watch something new, something original.
I have a stream.
I want to watch something that's action-packed.
I have a stream.
What's happening, barflies? It's the Bears Barroom Radio Network and the I Have a Stream podcast, a streaming TV series review podcast. I'm your host, John Santucci. Call me Tooch. And back from hiatus is Joey Two Scoops. Joey!
What's up, buddy? It's good to be back. I've been busy with a couple other shows and rocking in the free world. You know what I mean?
I know. You've got chai fans in the stands. I love chai. It's my favorite tea.
Oh, God.
Just kidding, Joey. It's a great show with Greg Braggs Jr. I'm loving it, every minute of it. But, Joe, Tormund had surgery, so we're putting him back to work, though. There's no rest at Bears Barroom Radio Network. Bears Barroom, no rest for the wicked. Let's bring in the bartender.
That's the metal, so you know Aaron Michalski's in the house. As Tooch mentioned, he's back from surgery. He's a living, breathing, half man, half machine, but he's here tonight. Aaron, how are you, my friend?
Doing okay. Every day's a little bit better. Better than I thought I'd be, but happy to be here. I wouldn't miss the last show of Euphoria. How are you, gentlemen?
Right. Doing great. We're going to order some drinks because Joe and I are both thirsty. It's about 90. It was 90 today in Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I think I hear it's pretty hot. I haven't been outside the apartment since last Thursday, but I hear it's pretty hot here in Iowa, too. So we got, you were showing me before the show, I got something special you're drinking tonight, huh, Tooch?
I do. I'd like some Iowa bourbon.
2 fingers, 2 rocks coming right up.
You know it.
Look
Cheers.
at that. And Joey, what are you drinking?
Oh, man, I'm going to go on such a hot day. You got to go with an ice cold, refreshing summer shandy. So I got to take a summer shandy.
Very good.
We
got some of those back here, too.
Oh, music to my ears, man.
Nice.
Sounds good.
And Aaron, you're going to have to pour yourself some, as Aldo said drinks are on the house again tonight.
Well, I'm not thinking the pain meds are going to... Well, I mean, it might mix really well with the boost, but I'm going to abstain tonight, so I'm going to just be serving and enjoying the conversation.
Caution to the wind.
How about we give you a nice cold Pepsi?
Okay. Oh, yeah, cold Pepsi sounds good. We can do that. That'll go all right.
Yep.
Fully hear the fizz.
We can.
You'll pretend it's got some Jack in there.
Yeah, we can definitely pretend. Absolutely.
Well, no heavy lifting for you tonight, Tormund. We have a great show for you guys tonight.
Super.
We're going to talk season finale of season 1 of Euphoria on HBO. Bears fan Dan is going to drop by. But first, Joe, let's get into a little news. I know you've got some stuff for us to hear.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it short and sweet, but we also have a special guest for the news. So here we go. Let's jump into the news in 2 scoops or less.
What? You look like Mary Poppins. Is he cool? Hell yeah, he's cool. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all! Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
It's entertainment news in 2 scoops or less.
Holy smokes!
That's right, everybody. This is the part of the show where I give you the news in 2 scoops or less. Netflix has canceled Tooch's new favorite show, the OA, after 2 seasons. Fans have already started a new hashtag #SaveTheOA, in hopes of another network saving the show. But at this point, guys, it looks like that show is going to be canceled, but we'll keep you updated as we hear anything else. I can see Tooch's tears on the other side of the screen.
Yeah, me and Draft Dr. Phil.
Yeah, don't worry, though. I will send a gallon of ice cream to your house to know the pain.
Very nice.
You can make a strawberry shake with it.
Fresh strawberry. Summer fruit is the best. It's in season.
It sure is. And then lastly, we have a special guest here on the line to talk about his new movie. I want to quickly call out here that Martin Scorsese's The Irishman will be premiering on Netflix, and the date has been just announced. So we have Marty here to talk about that new movie, The Irishman.
Who's this?
Marty, you got Joey Two Scoops and John Santucci from I Have
Two Scoops what? Spumoni?
Whatever you want it to be, Marty. Okay. But we're talking about your new movie, The Irishman, that's coming out on Netflix. The film stars Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, and Al Pacino.
Al. Who else?
Joe.
Pesci.
Yeah, Joe Pesci.
How did I find him? The backseat with one of those picks. So I had to put him in the movie.
I think he could probably use a Snickers. He's not himself when he's hungry.
He's not. Or when he's drunk. Or
violent. That's right. Yeah, and so the film, Marty, chronicles the disappearance of legendary union boss Jimmy Hoffa. So it's going to be really good. So talk a little bit about.
It's my movie.
Of course it is. And they just announced the release date, Marty. You want to break it to the world? What day The Irishman's coming out on Netflix?
I'm forgetting. What is it?
October 13th.
13th. Is that a Friday?
That's a great idea. I have no idea what day it is. I should probably look that up.
Most movies come out on Friday. So, Friday the 13th? Jimmy Hoffa?
It's not a Friday.
Bobby?
It is a Sunday.
Sunday. Wow, Sunday.
Sunday.
Oh,
that's right.
Like to get Mike North and all
they took my asthma medicine. Okay, so they had me over a mail, but I'm not doing the movies. It's Netflix. It's the wave of the future. Chubby little girls can make movies. I can still make movies.
Hey, man.
All right, well.
We love having Marty on the show.
I love you. I don't know who you are, but I hope you're all successful.
Well, thanks, Marty, for coming on. And Joe, we got to invite Mike North and the barkeeper on to review that one, and I have a stream. And Joe, coming up here, we haven't done it in a while, so I'd like to do a little memory stream. Enter the memory stream, Joe. Got a very special show, 20 years old.
That sounds like a great idea. Let's jump into the memory stream.
Great news, everyone. You'll be delivering a package to Chopek 9, a world where humans are killed on sight.
Hey, Fry! I'm steering with my ass!
That's the best thing I ever saw.
Be careful with that Adlai, Leela. He's a doctor. They're very poor.
Actually, most doctors are rich.
What? When did this happen? You're joking, right? That's not funny!
I have made it with a woman. Inform the men. Get that booty up here, Leela.
I'm breaking up with you.
We were going out?
And keep your stupid chicken hat, too.
And the worst part is, I had to have the breakup sex by myself.
The key to victory is discipline, and that means a well-made bed. You will practice until you can make your bed in your sleep.
You mean while I'm sleeping in it?
You won't have time for sleeping, soldier. Not with all the bed making you'll be doing.
Good news, everyone.
Uh-oh, I don't like the sound of that.
Make up some feelings and tell her you have them. Yes?
Is desire to mate a feeling?
Oh, you're not even trying.
Ugh. It's all so complicated with the flowers and the romance and the lies upon lies.
If we can hit that bullseye, the rest of the dominoes will fall like a house of cards. Checkmate.
You know, it's funny.
What?
You're a wiener! Thank you and good night.
Good news, everyone. Tomorrow you'll be making a delivery to Ebola 9, the virus planet.
When I'm in command, every mission's a suicide mission.
Have you ever tried simply turning off the TV, sitting down with your children, and hitting them?
Hooray! I'm useful. I'm having a wonderful time.
Blackmailing me?
Blackmail is such an ugly word. I prefer extortion. The X makes it sound cool.
My name isn't Slick. It's Zoidberg. John Zoidberg.
We got a right to pick a little fight with rustlers. Somebody wants to pick a fight with us, he better bite my ass. Bite my shiny metal ass.
Wow.
That was great.
A lot of classic lines there.
It's so hard to pick from all of them. Futurama is 20 years old, guys. I can't believe it's 20 years old. It aired on Fox from March 28, 1999 to August 10th, 2003. And then again in reruns, Adult Swim on Cartoon Network. It was revived in 2007 with 4 direct-to-video films. Also, it was nominated for 17 Annie Awards, winning 7, 12 Emmy Awards, winning 6. It was nominated 4 times for a Writers Guild of America Award, winning for the episodes Godfellas, The Prisoner of Benda, and Prisoner of Benda. It was nominated for a Nebula Award and received Environmental Media Awards for the episodes The Problem with Poplars and the Futurama Holiday Spectacular. It was super hard, Joe, to choose a bunch of scenes. Do you have any favorite memories, or who's your favorite character of Futurama?
I will tell you my favorite episode of Futurama is the episode where they go to the Slurm factory. It's like the parody of Willy Wonka, and
so funny.
They're making this addictive soda drink that Fry just keeps chugging down, and he's caffeined out of his mind, and it's just such a funny episode. It might be my favorite animated episode of a series ever. It's just so much fun.
That was great.
Futurama is an incredible show, and I tell you what, I can't believe it's that old, but I could seriously sit through and stream them all back to back. It's just that good.
Oh man, I love the show too as well. When it was almost a second chance series for me too, Joe. When it came on, I was kind of like, this is kind of a ripoff of The Simpsons, but man, it just grew on me. And
oh yeah,
there's just so many great episodes. It's so hard, like I said, it's so hard to choose so many moments. What about Aaron? Aaron, do you have any favorite characters or memories of Futurama?
It's, favorite characters automatically, I got to go with Bender. But for whatever reason, the one memory that sticks in my head is really early on in the series. I think it's the episode, one of the first couple episodes with Robot Hell. And when
it's another
they
great
get the
one.
golden
Classic.
fiddle and they're hitting the robot devil in the head, and he's like shrieking like a woman every time they hit him.
That's great.
Just absolutely wrecks me. That's for whatever reason. I think besides Bender, I think it might actually be the robot devil is my favorite, or Professor Farnsworth.
Yeah, so many great characters. Hermes, Dr. Zoidberg, Amy, Leela, Zap Brannigan. What a great character!
Yeah, did you know that Zap Brannigan was actually supposed to be voiced by Phil Hartman, but he passed away like shortly before they were going to start recording. So is that
it's Billy West?
Billy West. It is Billy
Phil
West
Hartman.
doing Phil Hartman's voice. Yep, that's what I thought. Very cool.
Such great voice talent on Futurama. John DiMaggio, Billy West, of course,
no doubt.
Frank Welker. There's so many great. Maurice LaMarche, Phil Lamar, of course, Katie Sagal as Leela.
Mm-hmm.
Would it surprise you guys to find out that we have a cast member from
It
Futurama.
What? Are you serious?
On the podcast tonight. It's Dr. John Zoidberg.
What are those noises?
Oh,
Doctor.
Who are you?
We're from
Dr.
the past.
Zoidberg, thanks for joining us. Of course.
Hey, I'm making new friends. But don't cross me, because I have a stream of ink. Are you going to fish that?
Dr. Zoidberg, welcome to I Have a Stream. Can our bartender get you something to drink?
I would like, yes, I would like a screaming patient.
I'm sure we could.
After a long day at the clinic, you're gonna need a few to forget the screams of the patient.
You guys have questions for Dr. Zoidberg? I have one. I was wondering where Dr. Zoidberg got his medical license.
That would be the downstairs back alley, rat-infested, third dumpster on the left, medical clinic. It's written up in all the papers.
Joe,
in the sewers.
Joe, do you have any questions for Dr. Zoidberg?
What?
Go on.
Oh, I got a question for you, Dr. Zoidberg.
Go for it.
What is your favorite alcoholic beverage?
I like a martini with a twist of something fishy.
Anchovies, maybe.
Anchovies? I ate the rest of those. They don't exist anymore.
Oh my!
I know Dr. Zoidberg loves a buffet, so we set up the.
You have a buffet there? Can I invite Zoidberg?
Yes, we have one. We have one set up for you.
This is wonderful. Too bad I'm in the future.
Aaron, you have any questions?
I wanted to meet Marty Scorsese.
Yeah, actually, Dr. Zoidberg, is there anything you've ever ate that you didn't like?
My own ink.
Oh, boy. That took a twist.
Only
All right.
thing, and that was an accident. I was drinking coffee one morning.
Well, did you guys know that Dr. Zoidberg is an accomplished theremin player? And Joe, gonna get your guitar out maybe and play a song for us with Dr. Zoidberg?
Yeah, I'd say that's a fitting way to play him off, right?
Excellent.
Play me off? Where am I going?
You're gonna have a good time playing. So
I'm gonna have a wonderful time.
Well, let me get my guitar.
Have been wonderful, wherever you are and whatever era you're from.
Well,
it ends badly for you all.
I'm sure it does, but thanks for joining us, and I'm gonna grab my guitar and let's play a little song together on your way out.
Excellent.
Wonderful.
Here we go. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm wonderful.
Sometimes I give myself the creeps.
I love the creeps.
Sometimes my mind plays tricks on me.
The only trick is not getting
It all
paid.
keeps adding up. I think I'm cracking up. Am I just paranoid? Or am I just stunned? Oh, what a fantastic song. Thanks,
Bravo.
Dr. Zoidberg.
Thanks, Dr. Zoidberg. And this is actually Brian Shanahan. Joe, let's welcome him back.
Hello, fellas.
Let's welcome him back, Bears
There we go.
Barroom style.
This guy here is Bears Barroom's voice impersonator. He's a man of many talents. He'll win you over with his wit and his Irish charm. If he likes you, he may even sculpt an alien head for you. Please welcome Brian Shanahan.
We don't get fooled again.
That's right, Barflies. Mr. Shanahan is in the house, and he's been doing voices.
Everybody. You're going to the planet Alien Head. They make alien heads for only the good children.
Oh, Brian, thanks for coming back for this finale for the season of first season of I Have a Stream. We'll be returning for the Watchmen in October, and first we're going to close out this show with Euphoria season finale with Bears fan Dan. And Brian, I know you're a big Bears fan. What do you think about the Bears this season?
Well, I'm not hearing anything about anybody getting hurt so far, so good. And it sounds like they know that they got to take that next step. And one of the big ones is getting a new kicker. One that can kick at Soldier Field on a cold night when there might be a gust of wind. Or no gust of wind.
What does Dr. Zoidberg think about the Bears?
I think they're going to be wonderfully delicious. The little ones are hard to get through. The mothers are so protective. But I know a kicker, pilot of our Planet Express ship, Leela. He's kicked me wonderful times.
And Brian, do you have any plans to see The Irishman, the Martin Scorsese film on Netflix?
Yeah, maybe at your house, maybe. Or is it a series or is it a one 2-hour film or something?
One movie. It's a one movie.
One movie. Oh, yeah. Well, John, you'll have to invite me over so I can watch it.
You'll
time, of course.
You could take the ride on down to Iowa to visit him.
Yeah.
That's right. I'll be in Des Moines.
That's sad to see him leave.
Well, I'm only 4 hours away. And I'll be only 2 hours away from Tormund.
Be pretty close.
Tormund's going to take me to the Omaha Zoo when I get out there.
And leave you there.
Be one of the animals.
Oh, all right, Brian. Well, thanks again for coming on. We're going to talk.
A lot.
Yeah, man. Thanks again for coming back and closing out I Have a Stream in style with Joey Two Scoops and I and Dan and Aaron.
Okay, everyone.
We'll
have a wonderful night.
We're gonna talk about Watchmen in October with you. Hopefully, you drop by.
Okay. Yeah, I'm down.
HBO Watchmen. All right.
Sounds good, man. Thanks again, Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
And gents, before we get into Euphoria, I want to go ahead and drop a little bit of music from Euphoria to get the feeling going.
Very nice.
Oh, there you go, man. I feel like I'm hanging out in the club. I'm pumped up.
And I love that theme. How about we bring in our guest for this segment, Joe? Welcome him barroom style.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know him as the platinum-piped voice of Bear's Barroom. But little did you know, when it comes to lovemaking, this guy is known as the man who unites nations. This guy knows more about Chicago Bears football and television than Jason La Canfora does about being wrong all the time. Everyone, get out of your seats, especially all the ladies, and give it up for me? Seriously, for me! I'm Dan Aguire. And don't forget to hit me up on Twitter, ladies.
Dan Aguire.
Dan Aguire. I'm shouting you out.
Great guy.
There he is. Dan Aguire in the house. Danny, how you doing, my friend?
It's such a big show. We're talking the finale. I'm starting to get anxious. Maybe I can't go. I'm starting to feel like Trey Burton.
Ooh, very good.
But
excellent. This was a great finale. I love this finale. It really came back, brought the series back for me.
It really did.
Yeah, and Salt the Earth Behind You was the name of this episode.
What about a drink? I want a drink, guy.
Yeah, let's get Dan something to drink before we start in on this.
I'm impatient. I want to fuck. Yeah. There's not been enough cussing yet, so I got to bring that to the.
Fuck yeah!
Hey, I know that my drink is an October kind of feel, but I'm a Scorpio, so give me a pumpkin flavored Samuel Adams.
Look, yeah, okay, coming right up, man. Good call.
All right.
Oh, there you go. That tastes like fall, Dan.
And football season, fall. We're here.
That's right.
Coming up, dude, this weekend.
Hey, Aaron,
It's on Thursday.
Thursday night.
I will be at the preseason game on Thursday with Greg Braggs Jr., Bobby Bombs, little Shy fans in the stands, action at the game. Maybe the Tooch is going to come. I don't know. Maybe Tooch.
I want to go. I need to find someone to come with me. Maybe a barfly.
Go. That's only
I wish Dan.
That's only 2 hours from my house, man. But I got to work.
Danny, do you dress like Seth Rogen too?
I'm a big Seth Rogen fan, but I wear Bears gear just about every day, though.
Yeah.
Well, Danny, what'd you think of the finale? Satisfying?
The finale left me, of course, which was the goal, kept me thinking, all right, what's going on with Fezco? Fezco, please go back to Fezco. Oh, they're not going to go back to Fezco.
Nope, they're not.
Cliffhanger.
Shit. But I don't know if you want to just jump right in or not. I don't think Rue is dead. We've been talking about it off air. I could go through any of things if you want me to. Let's hit drive. I'll just respond.
Let's hit those questions. Let's start with Rue. A lot of people saying Rue has been dead the whole season, and Danny, you and I talked offline about this. Rue's mom was giving what appeared to be a eulogy to me.
No.
I know you said no, but it was an Alcohol Anonymous meeting, or possibly, but it was inside of a church.
But everything she was saying was in present tense. She wasn't talking past tense. And if Rue had actually died, I don't think you necessarily would just be like, yeah, my daughter's an addict. You would be trying to say, look, she's a good person beyond her ailments of addiction. You wouldn't be focusing on the negative. You would be trying to have people informed that she was really a great daughter in other areas.
Fair enough.
I think.
So, too, in the beginning of her speech, didn't she say something like, they asked me to write this?
Yeah, she did.
So, if she openly says they asked me to write this, you wouldn't have to be asked to read a eulogy.
Right,
exactly.
And then there's the end scene, which was almost like a music video with Rue.
It really was.
We're surrounded by a choir or hundreds of dancers and climbing a mountain of bodies. It was very surreal. The whole episode was tinged with a few surreal moments here and there. So what was the ending? Joe, what do you think about the music video towards the end? Was that
yeah, man.
Rue?
I've been trying to toy with it since last night. It's really gotten in my head, and I think it really accomplished what it was trying to do, and that's make you figure out what the fuck just happened. But, I think, and hear me out, I think that scene before it all happened, what was happening? She was riding a bike, right? And there were headlights coming towards her.
Yeah.
So I think she got hit by a car, and I think that this is like her dream of they say when people are on the edge of death, right? When they say you get pulled towards the light, and then you kind of come back and forth. I think that whole music video was her flirting with death, but at the end she just kind of comes right back. So that's kind of how I took it. And I think I'm going to go out there and be a little crazy here, and I'm going to say maybe Nate was driving the car, and that kind of sets up the next season.
Wow, I love it. Wow, I love it. It was, it could have been her getting knocked silly by a guy, and I thought about that. I think it's in my notes, too. This episode, man, Zendaya was amazing in this episode, Aaron. Wasn't she fantastic? I mean...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I think after this episode, shot an Emmy...
No, I think so too. Actually, during the scene where she's talking to Fezco, or was that the last episode? Must have been the last episode where she was talking to. So sober Rue is much more entertaining. When she's going through the detective phase, it seemed like you got to see a little bit more of her mannerisms, her expressions, her emotions, kind of her getting excited about stuff rather than just kind of trudging through. So she really, within these last couple of episodes, picked it up and really showed a lot more Rue, than she has in the past couple of, the season before.
Right. Now, if we rewind a little bit, this show revolved around, there was a winter dance, I think, Danny, and all of the characters are, basically all of them, this is like it was a winter dance. it felt like the end of school. There was a lot of closure at the dance. I'm thinking of Kat and Ethan.
I was so happy for Kat, by the
Yes.
way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same.
Finally got some happiness. But first off, let me say that I'm sorry that I coughed there. I thought my mic was off. I apologize for that. I feel like shit.
I didn't hear it.
I didn't even hear it. I think your mic was off.
I think you were muted, sir. I did not pick up anything.
Two Scoops was talking, man. I was like, anyway. But okay, maybe it didn't.
I got your back, and so does Tooch's wife.
It's making a strawberry shake.
I want to say one more thing about Rue, though. I kept rewatching that sequence over and over, and I was like, oh my God, they're bringing a body out. Maybe that is her, but I think that was her dad at the time they were showing that montage.
We'll get into that. That was a very emotional moment.
I don't want to jump the gun.
All right. Yeah. So at the school dance, a lot of closure. We found out a lot of revelations. One was Lexi is a lesbian, right?
That's how I took it.
That's how I took it as well too. She was talking with her sister, and her sister. She asked her sister, "What do you do when you want to, pair up with somebody? Do you wait for them to come to you?"
Hook up.
And Cassie tells you, "Go out and grab it," and she looks at Rue. I think, right, Joe? Did she look at Rue?
Yeah, that's what I took. That's what I took out of it. Is that she's into
Rue,
and then she wants to be with her.
Exactly, and they've been friends since they were little kids. Lexi and Rue are, they were friends when they were 6 years old. I think we saw back in the first or second episode that Lexi and Rue had been friends when they were little kids, birthday parties and things like that. And it looks like Lexi has carried the torch for Rue the whole time.
But Lexi's hammered drunk too. Let's not forget that. She could sober up and be like, "Oh, I don't really want to go down."
For sure. Well, hear me out for once. Hear me out for one.
Rue's in love with Jules though at the time.
Right. So hear me out for 1 second. So we talked all season, right, about how Judd Apatow's daughter is one of the top billed, right?
Exactly.
Why would she sign on to do this if she's not going to have a bigger, more important role in the future episodes of the season? So I figure,
playing devil's advocate again, they didn't know that season 2 was going to happen until last night.
We talked about that too. You and I.
That's true. They did not, but let's
announce today.
Let's figure she was taking a gamble. I mean, when you have Drake producing a show, and you have HBO backing it, you have someone like Zendaya in it, and it's like a controversial thing, you figure it's going to get some traction. So with hopes of it blowing up, I feel like she negotiated her top billing for this year with hopes of coming back next year with a big shot at something emotionally compelling. So I think maybe that's kind of the way it's heading.
Well, I hope so. I'd love to see that character developed a little bit more. We didn't get enough of her, I think, during the season.
Right.
But let's go. Let's find out what happens at the dance. Well, actually, there is another emotional moment that's intercut with the dance, and that's Cassie going to get an abortion. It was very detailed, and it was
wrong.
Yeah. Yep, we were all wrong. We all thought she was going to have the baby, and
there's a lady who was here with me last week named Ashley. She called the abortion immediately. She's like, "I fucking told you. I called it." So she did.
Oh boy.
She's listening. I'm acknowledging that she.
Oh, right on.
Yeah,
I thought she would keep McKay's baby, but it wasn't to be. And in fact, her mom asks her how she feels, and she says better. So the stress off of her. She wasn't ready to be a mom. That chapter closes a little bit there for Cassie, and for Kat, she gets emotional with Ethan, crying.
Oh,
and
I feel like I pussy saying this, but I don't mind in retrospect admitting feelings and shit. But when in the moment, I'm going to try to hide it, I guess. But when she says, because I was so involved, I was completely sober too. When she goes, "I'm crying," I literally cried when she said, "I'm crying," because she was so happy for her. You're so emotionally, at least I was so emotionally invested into it. The only thing I kept wanting to say is, Ethan, acknowledge you weren't hitting on the girl at the carnival.
Yeah, he didn't. He didn't at all. He should have. He should have said, "Hey, that was just a friend of my sister's."
His line was so good though, and he's like, "One of us is going to get hurt, but I'll do everything I can for it to be me."
Yeah, what a great line.
Yeah,
I love the Ethan character too. I mean, he goes out and gets it. For a kind of a shy guy, a nerdy guy, he goes out and grabs it. He sees what he wants. He went out and got it, and he's always carried a torch for Kat this whole season. Sitting next to her he was her lab partner, I think, right, Joe?
Yes, sir.
Before, I want to go back to the beginning of the show where there was a scene with Rue and Jules, and they have a killing Nate fantasy, which I thought was hilarious. Do you guys remember?
That was amazing. Oh my god.
they lit his body on fire. He's
He kept shooting him and shooting him and shooting him.
Right.
Pussy.
It was a great scene. Some of the surreal fantasies on this show are just amazing. So Nate goes to the dance with someone else. He and Matt. I don't know. I don't know her name.
She was attractive, by the way.
Yes,
she was a good-looking lady.
Yeah, I think that was.
Down at the table, the other girl with Cassie and Lexi.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
We've seen her before. We never knew that she's kind of a peripheral character. I don't know her name, but Nate takes her to the dance and makes Maddie jealous, of course, and Maddie goes off and dances with guys, and pretty soon Nate and Maddie are back at it, abusing each other. Nate, yeah.
No, I thought her character had some depth there when she's saying, basically, like she went through a litany of like 4 things that basically said, we're not going to be good together. You're an abusive dick, and everything she said, he said, I know. So I thought, and the fact she has that DVD now too, which can't.
Right, now what DVD do you guys think that is, Danny? Is it the one with Jules and her dad? Okay, all right.
A couple episodes back, Cal, remember that was missing from Cal?
It was missing. I knew it was missing.
Yeah, so Nate had it, and then she took it. I mean, it's
okay.
Because it showed her reaction when she watched it too, and she had a look on her face like, "What the fuck was that?"
Right.
Yeah, she saw Cal and what she thought would be her father-in-law and the transitioning student from high school. I mean, and that was an appropriate reaction by the actress, I thought.
Right. Now, was that before? I mean, Cal kind of threatens Maddie, and they have a little bit of a conversation. It's like, it'll never work out between you and Nate. You're not good for him or something, whatever.
I don't think we know that because it was both of those were sort of flashbacks from the dance. So I don't think we know exactly the time frame unless I'm mistaken on that. But then
I couldn't
she had to leave her house to steal the DVD though. So maybe that was
true.
the same night. Maybe that was the same night she left.
It was before the dance for sure because that's what caused the breakup, I think.
Nate was in the shower and she grabbed that book off his desk, and that's where the DVD was hidden.
Yeah, because he couldn't keep his dick hard. Which, as a man, none of us want to make fun of somebody for that because that could be later on.
Yeah.
Notice I said later on, not now.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, that's a good call. That's when she took the DVD and she watched it later, and that's definitely going to be something played up in season 2.
Season 2, exactly.
No doubt.
That's going to come back to haunt. And
can we
Cal
talk?
heading for trouble. Yeah,
Can we talk for a second about why in the hell he had that as a bookmark in a book on his shelf? I mean, what is wrong with this guy?
I don't know.
She tried to be cool with him and say, like, look, man, sexuality is a spectrum. It's no big deal. Like, she was trying to be awesome to him. Like, if that were you, she had that's the reaction you would want from your girl. But
exactly.
That's in my notes, too.
And like everything else.
When he was having trouble, I wrote in my notes, is Nate gay or bi-curious or bisexual? I don't think he knows yet. But
I think that's a great segue, though, Tooch, because that scene he has with his dad at the end.
Yes.
So Aaron, you got to watch that last scene between Nate and his dad.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Because I kind of took it one way. I want to get your reaction.
No, I wonder if we're on the same page. I was kind of wondering if it sounds really awful, but the show pushed the envelope everywhere else. Why not? For some reason, I thought somebody was going to get aroused or kiss one another. Nate was half naked when they were wrestling for whatever reason anyhow.
Oh my God.
So I was like, oh God, are they going to like something, or he's going to have some kind of a revelation? But I mean, how satisfying was it to watch Nate have a total meltdown and throw a temper tantrum like a 3-year-old?
See, I didn't get that impression. Either. But I'm a dad, so I was
sure.
To my son and I don't know. But my son and I have had plenty of fights.
gosh, like I said, I don't know why that's where my head went, but I'm like, oh god, please don't let something like that.
Right, but
I mean,
Nate
other than
shows
that,
us
it was
crazy in that scene. He shows
yeah.
us crazy. I mean, he bangs his head on the floor. It's
Yeah.
very, it's quite disturbing.
For
Could
sure.
I retort on that part?
Yeah.
My impression was, again, off the top of my head, Maddie says that to him about him being gay or whatever. And, or you know, of course, he's ashamed of that. And I think he sort of blames his dad for that. And so he comes in to criticize him again about the football game. Like, you won the game, but you lost control of the team. So I think it's a combination of him blaming his own sexuality problems on his dad. And he's just so angry because he can't really define who he is personally. But I think he blames that on his dad. And then that's when he calls his dad, you know, a disparaging word I won't say, you know, but you know the one I'm talking about.
Yep.
The point is he calls him that because he's just so mad, like he's blaming his sexuality on his problems on his dad's.
You nailed it.
Yeah, his dad, where he's in the closet, he's so mad at his dad for it, he won't take responsibility for his own actions. So I think there's what all the anger comes from on the show and in particularly that scene.
Sure.
Right. Now, while we're on Nate, I want to talk about Nate's scene with Rue at the dance. Rue follows Nate through the dance. She confronts him outside. You know, they have a little discussion. And Nate has some words for her about her and Jules. And Rue's object is to get Nate to leave them alone. And Nate tells Rue that Jules will break her heart, in essence, correct?
He goes low all the time, man.
He goes low, and those words of Nate and how Jules won't even remember you in one summer from now or 10 years from now.
10 years, yeah.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Wouldn't you say that was a catalyst for her suggestion about wanting to go to the city, whatever city it is anyway?
And that's where I'm going with it. You got it right here. Now, the thing is that after that, those words of Nate weigh on Rue's mind the whole time. She's like, I can't go. You know, she chickens out of going to the city with Jules, and you see the train pulling away and Rue standing on the station platform. A great scene. Now, Aaron, I want to ask you, is Jules toxic for Rue? And is that the message we're supposed to take away from this sequence?
I don't know. I mean, if it's a yes or no, I'm gonna have to say no because Jules is the reason Rue got clean. She may not be good for her in the long run, but I don't think that she's bad for her necessarily. If she was influencing her in other more negative ways, getting her to take drugs, or like leading her on intentionally. But even, you know, at the end of the dance, she did see that she was, you know, Jules did say she was in love with Rue as well as the other girl. So there are genuine feelings there.
She
so
leaves
I don't
sex
think
with Anna. You know, she hides in the bathroom, correct, in the stall, and sex with Anna, and basically wants Rue to come to the city to have a threesome with Anna. I think, right? Yeah. Or is that the impression you got, Danny?
Yeah, and I kind of do, not to contradict Aaron, I kind of think...
hey, that's what we're here for, man.
Maybe that she's toxic because she is, like, we got Rue's sex history a few episodes back, and she slept with just a handful of people. I don't remember how many, but it was within single digits anyway. And so I feel like she's trying to force her to be promiscuous, not necessarily like forcing her like, oh, I'm going to beat you up, but she's trying to change her fundamentally, and even the way she dresses. And I think that, I think Rue is good. It will be better. She'll be well to be away from Jules. And my God, what? Jules gets laid one time, and why isn't she in love with Cal then? She's in love with everybody that she fucks. Jesus Christ.
No kidding.
Right? She imagines Nate at one time, right? Didn't she imagine Nate during sex with Anna? She was imagining Nate at the club, right?
You think maybe they'll do an STD angle the next time and give Jules fucking like herpes or something?
Everything. I don't know.
Maybe.
Well, Jules tries to get Rue to reach out and grab it. This is how I want you to kiss me. You know, just grab me, you know, and kiss me. And Rue, you know, finally, you know, musters up the courage to go and grab Jules, and they have a nice kissing scene. And of course, that's where Rue gets the idea. Let's get away from here. Let's just pack our bags and we'll escape from, the East Highland, and all the troubles here, the addictions, the Nates, the Jacobs family, all the other people in this town that are, emotional wrecks.
Yeah, she didn't really think through it very much.
Yeah, Joe. Right. No, it wasn't. It was a terrible plan. She even admits it's a terrible plan. But why do you think, Joe, Rue stayed on the station platform?
Well, I think really she said it. I honestly think she started thinking about her mom and her sister, and she sees the path that her sister's kind of going down when she's not around. And she wants to be there for her family. And I think she's thinking about the example that she's going to set if she just runs off. She's like, I suggested this idea, but it's a terrible idea. And I also think it was partially a test for Rue, for Jules, because I think she wanted to see, how good is she for me? Would she stay with me for me? And she didn't.
Yeah.
Why didn't she? How selfish can Jules be?
Jules isn't in love with Rue.
Exactly.
Yeah, but she said that she was, though, at the end of the dance.
Or the train, whatever. Get off the train. I think just be with Rue one night,
Yeah. Jules doesn't know what she wants, basically.
So, real quick, I want to piggyback
17.
off of that. Jules made it very clear a couple of different times that she was on a journey. When everybody's talking, Cassie said, I think I'm only maybe 25% of a person. Then Jules says that she's 100%, but she can get to 150. You kind of wonder, now that I listen to you guys talk, do you think that everything and everybody are just kind of stepping stones for her moving into the person that she wants to be? Because she kept talking with Anna about leveling up. And then she was talking about, I know who I am, but I'm working to the next level. I'm going to work on being, I'm 100% a person. I'm looking to get to 150. Do you think that everybody to her is just kind of there? And she's on her way, going to do what she wants no matter what?
Yes. She seems very selfish and is going to, like you said, she's going to exploit whomever she can along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I agree.
A lot of respect for her, honestly.
You remember what Nate said about Jules? That she looks like a girl who could accomplish whatever she wants to accomplish, and she will accomplish what she sets out to accomplish?
Yeah.
That was one thing. Now, a lot of Nate's words really weighed heavy on Rue. Rue she was almost like a different person, right? She didn't dress like Seth Rogen. She looked beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
She was really looking beautiful.
Well,
and
so took that out.
Yeah.
He's like, no, for real, you really are beautiful. Babe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he did. We left that, so he said, you look beautiful. Nate butters her up, right, Joe?
He did, and I don't know if you guys caught, but they showed the origin of her hoodie and why she wore it all the time.
I was just about to get to that. You reveal why Rue is so fucked up and probably why she's a drug addict. Go ahead, Joe. Tell us about that scene.
So yeah, it shows, first off, that the signature hoodie that she wears pretty much the entire show. It's like a purple zip-up or something like that.
A reddish purple zip-up hoodie. A hoodie.
So they showed a lot of the scene when the day her father died and his body was taken out of his bedroom in a body bag, wheeled away, and it cuts to his bed, and Rue grabs his hoodie, which is that same hoodie, picks it up, gives it a smell, sure it smells like her dad.
So emotional.
And she zips it up, and it kind of explains to you why she always wears it and how emotional it is for her.
Yeah. It smells like her dad, it's just, that's her, keeping his memory with her. It's hugging her. The memory of her dad is hugging her every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I started to get very emotional during that scene. I got a little teary. The death of her dad was such a big thing for a 15 or 16-year-old kid to go through. That's why she's so troubled emotionally. That's probably why she's an addictive personality or a drug addict. I mean, she even sets herself up nice in the hospital when she had the kidney infection. It's like, is this Vicodin? And you got any Roxaset? Sets herself up. I don't think Vicodin doesn't do anything for me. Let's get something else. You know,
I think you're right there. I mean, again, not to make it about me, but my dad died while I was 12. And I think maybe I didn't do any drugs or anything, but I think maybe it kind of helped me double down with my obsession on the Bears. I mean, no shit.
Right on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, maybe before then I wasn't like able to just fire off like box scores from fucking before I was born. Like, oh, that's the touchdown from Walter in Buffalo in '79 when they were 7-0. You know what I mean? Heidi sent me a Bears video today, or maybe it was Shane, where it just shows like a montage leading up from Parkey's miss to this season. And I could name the games that all the plays were from, for the most.
Jesus.
So, I have sort of an obsessive personality too, even though I don't do any drugs or anything. So I do think maybe I was shaped by my dad dying in a lot of ways. So what Tooch said about Rue really resonates with me.
Yeah, Dan, I think you're really onto something there. I really think that, when you suffer the loss of someone close to you, and I suffered a loss of my sister unexpectedly, 3+ years ago. And, I think when something happens, you kind of pour yourself into something else, right? And we see that, with what you just talked about, pouring yourself into statistics and Bears games and everything like that. And you see it with Rue, she kind of poured herself into drugs. I poured myself into podcasting and getting Fantasy Football Goon rolling and just finding something to fill that emptiness. And I think you're really onto something. And I think that's something this show does really well.
Yeah, absolutely, Joe. Yep, you nailed it, knocked it out of the park. Of course, Fantasy Football Goon on Bears Barroom Radio Network. Just want to plug that.
Well done.
Can I say one thing about fantasy? And I'm going to be the asshole here. I never play fantasy football, but again, this goes with my obsession. I'm never going to be watching a game and say, boy, I really hope Rodgers throws 4 touchdowns today, but we win. Fuck that. I'm rooting for the Bears. Else, unless it's week 17 and I need the other team to win. Bears.
Yeah, you have to disconnect yourself. But,
see, I can't do that. Anytime I got invited to a fantasy, I was the dude that drafted all Bears players. So it was never really, it's not something I ever got into. It's like, I don't want this. I don't want Tariq Cohen to do well for somebody else. I'm going to get him. And the same thing with every.
There's a $1,000 prize on the line, though.
Oh, dude,
I invited Aaron. I remember I texted him. I'm like, hey, you want to do the Barroom League? I got a spot. I'm saving it for you before I offer it up to somebody else. He goes, it's not really my thing, man.
Danny would probably be. Danny strike me as someone who'd probably be pretty good at it, though. I'm just saying.
This is true. I've got a screenshot of it too. The only form of fantasy that I'll play, I'm on like ESPN's games or whatever it is, and you predict the outcome of the games.
Mm-hmm.
I was 4th in the fucking country in the middle of November last year. I was 4th in the whole fucking country.
Nice. See?
And Detroit lost a game or won a game. It was the Lions. I got a Lions game wrong and went from like 4th to 400th.
Oh no!
Fucking Lions.
It's good.
We've kind of wrapped up Rue and Jules. Let's get to the most probably the cliffhanger of the show. I think Dan would be. Right now, Fezco. His story was kind of interwoven in pieces. Do you remember, Danny, what Fezco was doing before he goes out for the night?
Well, it looked like he was following. His name's Mouse, right?
Before that, he was praying over the couch, and he pulling out the gun at the end of his prayer.
And he talked to his grandma and said he loved her because I think he thought he could die that night.
Yes, exactly. So he
just might.
Yeah, exactly. He follows Mouse, and I forget the other guy's name. I want to say like Numbers or Abacus or something like that.
Something like that.
He's the numbers guy, the money guy. That's always with Mouse. He follows Mouse, and he finds where their supplier lives. And Aaron, what'd you think of that scene of him? Of what Fezco does? First of all, tell us what happens, what he does.
So Fezco when we first kind of see him after he got done praying, it shows him in a car out by Mouse's house.
Right.
So then Mouse takes off and he follows them. Evidently Mouse and the numbers dude leaves. Fezco sneaks into the house and begins to rob the gentleman. The gentleman opens up the safe, which was a table, which was pretty cool looking, and starts handing out the money. But the guy has a gun in there. So the guy actually looks over down the hallway and sees what I assume is his kid.
Yeah.
And then Fezco looks over and sees the kid. And when Fezco looks over, the guy grabs the gun and goes, but then Fezco pistol whips the shit out of the dude and ends up robbing him.
Right. He scolds him, too. He's like, why are you doing that? Stop reaching for that gun, man. It was an emotional scene. A little boy down the hall watching his dad get pistol whipped.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Fesco had no choice. He had to do this. Nate, robbed Nate, and even Jules confronted Nate. She says, Rue confronted Nate and says, "Why do I get the feeling that it was you who ratted out Nate?"
Right.
And Nate says something like, "Well, when you do, criminal things, that's stuff that's going to happen. Typical bastard style." He's still the villain of the show, in my opinion. Now Fesco collects the money, he leaves the house, and he goes back home. He gets a text first, right, Danny, from Ashtray that says Mouse is here.
Which worries me that Ashtray's dead too.
Oh,
Yeah, we didn't.
Because we know Ashtray was at the house, and we don't see him when Fesco comes back.
Didn't we see him? I thought we saw him.
No.
No? Okay.
No, but you'd figure something like that they'd show it. That was the only thing I can think of. I don't know that they would kill him off and then be like, oh, by the way, in season 2 he's dead. Like, that's, at least I would hope not.
Yeah. Now, Fesco comes back, and Mouse is like,
Tooch.
"You're late, right?" Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
No, real quick. I wanted to circle back for a quick second on the doctor scene.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you
The
guys.
doctor.
Is the doctor dead? Because I got the implication that
No.
that Fesco killed him because the money was splattered with all the blood. So I want to get your guys' thoughts on that quickly.
Wow, I didn't think of that. I thought he was just alive. He just got beaten.
Yeah, I think
badly.
it's just from the pistol whip.
Yeah. Nope. I'm gonna stick with the rule of thumb, or the rule of Glenn, as I've been saying every time. It didn't show him dying, so he's not dead.
The blood on the gun got on Fesco's hand, and he handled the money. And the numbers guy, he sees the blood on the money, and that's kind of where we're left. Danny, what's your prediction?
You were asking me if I think Fesco's dead,
or if there's a gunfight, or they're both ready to draw, Mouse and Fesco. Both got hands on their pistols.
We both think he's street smart enough to expect it. I feel like he probably is going to survive.
I do too.
And maybe there'll be a shootout, like you said, but we're not going to know until probably 2021 now, maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think
2020. Maybe. Joe, what do you think? Fesco alive or dead?
Well, let's be honest. He's one of the best characters on the show. If they killed him off, it would be a very, very bad decision for the show. So I feel like they got to keep Fesco around, especially you're not going to kill him off screen.
Right. Aaron, alive or dead? Fesco?
Nope, he's alive. No problem. That's an easy one for me.
I know you saw the article that I shared because I think you retweeted it.
Yeah.
The interesting story about how the guy playing Fesco was just like a dude. He wasn't even an actor.
Yeah,
and they saw him.
exactly.
Hey, would you like to play a drug dealer?
Yeah, one of the casting agents found him somewhere. He was working out in New York. He left Oakley. He's from Oakland.
Yeah.
Left Oakland and went to New York, and I think he was waiting tables.
Yeah,
or bartending and waiting tables.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. Luck, right place, right time. So let's see. We're wrapped up here. We don't know if Rue is alive or dead. We think she's relapsed. Do you guys think Rue? We're gonna go around and get your opinion on whether or not Rue has relapsed after her breakup or realization about the true character of Jules. Joe, what do you think? Relapse for Rue?
Man, I had a hard time figuring this out because what was real and what wasn't in that whole last scene.
Yeah.
Because there is a scene where she snorts cocaine or some sort of drug, but then there's the scene where she's on a bike and all of a sudden it transfers to everything else. So I'm gonna go with that she did not do drugs, and I really do think she got hit by a car. But I do think that the whole going back in the hospital thing is gonna maybe rekindle some of those addictions. So that's kind of where I think it's going.
All right, Aaron, what do you think?
Kind of piggybacking that last thing that Joe just said. Now, it's maybe that's what they were setting up with her scene early in the episode with her being in the hospital. Was talking about the addictions, trying to get the stronger drugs. So that could absolutely be how she ends up back there. Maybe that was a foreshadowing. I think the term I'm looking for is that Rue did, get in some kind of an accident, and she's going to relapse because of the pain pills, kind of a deal.
Right, 2 cliffhangers, I think. What happened to Rue and what happens to Fesco and Ashtray. Dan, what do you think? Rue relapsed?
Well, yeah, but let me say this first quickly, if you don't mind. My nephew's listening in to us, and Yeah, my nephew Thomas just sent me 2 texts that I thought was worth acknowledging. He said that Ashtray always is in the other room during business meetings.
Yep.
He thinks Ashtray is cool and alive. And he said the interesting fun fact, which I didn't know, the kid that plays Ashtray is a boxer.
Yeah, his IMDb photo actually is him with boxing gloves.
Nice.
That's pretty
I
fun.
love that kid, man. Ashtray's one of my favorite characters. He's so cool.
Yeah, no kidding.
To answer your question, I don't think she died because, again, she's someone that, I mean, unless it was the fentanyl again, I mean, obviously she has a tolerance, even if she hasn't done it in a few weeks or whatever. I don't think that one line is going to kill Rue, even though she goes into this bizarre Michael Jackson Thriller video if it was shot today as opposed to 82. It looked like Thriller to me. But anyway, I think she's alive. Maybe she did overdose. And I think that what you thought was the church and what could have been a church was her mom presiding over her relapse after that cocaine or what it was that she snorted. Because Rue is sitting there looking disheveled with her hair messed up and is probably embarrassed. I think that's probably what really happened. She did OD again. And she's okay. Yeah. She lives. Because how you're going to do, like we were talking offline, if you're going, maybe they didn't know there was going to be a season 2 yet, so they purposely put this cliffhanger in. But now that they know, it's easy to go back and write her in if they want to.
Sure.
It's too hard. It's too hard to have an arc like that where she's dead for an entire season for it to be meaningful.
You know, it really makes me think of how many shows write their endings of their first season, you know, to be ambiguous because they don't know whether they're going to have another season after that. That kind of annoys the shit out of me, but we end up with a lot of speculation.
A lot of show writing basically starts with the ending and you work your way backwards.
Yeah.
So they usually have the ending in mind and then you just fill in the blanks.
Mm-hmm. The rough skeleton and the ending.
Right.
Well, fellas, thanks again for being with us. I want to say we're going to take a little hiatus. Joe and I have Fantasy Football Goon.
We
be
sure
coming
do.
to you live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central, and appearances on Barfly Tailgate Show with Bobby Bombs on Sunday mornings before the games.
I believe it's actually going to be on Saturdays now, John.
Is it? Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
We'll get in touch with Bobby Bombs and work out all the deets.
Right. So before games, we'll be doing a little bit of fantasy football talk before the games, last minute news and things like that. And I Have a Stream will be back in October. We'll be talking Irishman, hopefully, with Mike North and Aldo Gandia. We'll also be hitting up and recapping Watchmen on HBO. Danny, you going to watch Watchmen?
If I do, it's just literally to get on the show and to be able to talk.
I love the honesty.
That's not my genre. That's not my genre.
I know. I think you like most everything HBO does, anyways. I think you'll like this. If you go back and watch the 2009 film by Zack Snyder, it's a good movie. It's very dark. It's different. It's not your typical superhero movie. Joe, you saw Watchmen 2009?
I did. I'm a huge fan of the graphic novel, and I was a huge fan of the film. Like I said, the novel's better always, but the series picks up after the events of the graphic novel, so I'm excited to see what happens there.
Aaron, any plans to watch?
Yep, I'll be watching The Watchmen, that's for sure.
Dan, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. What was going?
I interrupted you all. I was going to say, I take with one thing that Joey said there was about novels always being better. I think the Kubrick Shining movie is way better than Stephen King's book, but that's just me.
That's fair. That's fair. I would agree
with that.
That's
That's very fair. More than fair, Kubrick. But the Watchmen showrunner is Damon Lindelof, who's best known for co-creating Lost with J.J. Abrams, one of my favorite shows, except for the ending. Lindelof's other credits include The Leftovers on HBO, Joe, which was my second chance series. We've talked about that here. Love The Leftovers. What a great show. And he also wrote the scripts for movies like Star Trek Into Darkness, which was a really good one, and Prometheus, the Alien prequel, which was great. The new Watchmen show is notable. It's not an adaptation of the comic book. It's a continuation of the story, and the things that were in the movie and graphic novel will be canon. Now, the Watchmen has a really impressive cast list, including Regina King, Jeremy Irons, Don Johnson, Tim Blake Nelson, and Louis Gossett Jr.
Mayonnaise.
One of my favorite lines from Officer and a Gentleman, if you guys ever seen that movie. You guys Danny, did you see An Officer and a Gentleman?
I didn't. When I think Louis Gossett Jr., I think of that movie with Jim Belushi called The Principal.
Right. Okay. See, I think of Officer and a Gentleman, but if you, Aaron, did you see Officer and a Gentleman?
Nope. That is kind of like Dan. That is not my
one of
style
the
of movie.
movies that made Richard Gere really a great movie. If you guys watch it,
Richard Gere story. Again,
excellent.
Again, being in bumfuck nowhere, West Virginia, it's not like we have a lot of people that come here that are meaningful like that. The movie with Ed Norton and Richard Gere called Primal Fear. A bunch of scenes like 5 minutes from my house in this town called Keystone. They ended up cutting the scenes out, but long story short, they renamed the names of all the stores and all this shit. And I saw Richard Gere standing on the street when I was like 14 when they were filming this. But yeah, they cut the scenes out. But yeah, I saw Richard Gere standing on the street when I was in like 9th grade or 8th grade, whatever it was.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, no shit.
Well, hopefully the Watchmen show will be great to talk about, as good as Euphoria.
I hope so.
Great cast. So we had some really good actors in this one. So Joe, reached the end of the show. We'll come back in about 8 weeks. Joe's going to drop by from time to time as time allows, and I'll be taking over the production for this. Joe, thanks again. And why don't you guys tell me where we can find you on Twitter, Joe?
Well, if you barflies don't know by now, you can find me at Joe Mandel. It's not Joe Mandel like everyone likes to say, a.k.a. Draft Dr. Phil and Greg Braggs Jr. So the way
Danny, where can we find you on Twitter?
Bears Fan Dan, and Draft Dr. Phil calls me Bear Fan Dan, but just it's Bears Fan Dan. Hey, real quick, promoting shows on HBO.
Let's do it.
We can talk about just heads up. In 2020, we've got Westworld coming back, and Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh, wow. Okay. I did not know that.
Everybody's a Seinfeld guy. I think Curb Your Enthusiasm is like Seinfeld on steroids.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Sure. Dirtier Seinfeld.
Better than Seinfeld.
Yeah, and we have his Dark Materials as well.
Yeah.
We're going to talk Westworld for sure. And Aaron, tell us where we can find you on Twitter.
That is a Michalski88.
All right, and follow Bears Barroom at Bears Barroom. It's Bears Barroom Radio Network. Follow I Have a Stream Pod on Twitter. Listen to Fantasy Football Goon Tuesday nights at 7. Shy Fans in the Stands. Right after that on Bears Barroom Radio Network. Got Draft on Tap coming up.
That is very nice.
Thanks, Greg. And, of course, the Mike North Advantage with Mike North and Aldo Gandia. And their new show, Joe, which is called... We don't have a name for it yet, do they? The one post-game show coming up from the Bears Barroom Network. Which
I believe it was Bears. I think it's Bears Last Call. I believe.
Okay, Bears Last Call. I like the 5th quarter, man. I think that's cool.
That's a show that I do here for high school. That's what we call my segment here for high school football.
Oh, I love that name. And of course, the flagship Bears 100 Proof on Bears Barroom Radio Network with Jeff, Dr. Phil, Shane Marsaw, and Aldo Gandia. And that's it, Joey. How about a little tune to take us out?
Super Bowl 54 champion.
Right, the Bears Super Bowl.
There we go, Barflies. We'll see you guys in the near and distant future. But until then, let's get some football season going, baby. And we'll see I Have a Stream in a little bit.
Even